Hello, welcome to Me with the Geeks. My name's Tom, and I'm with Yorr Tom, José Cabrera himself. Fucking my mic's up.
Hi guys, just checking my Instagram.
He was more popular than us. Joe, how's it going?
It's alright, mate. How are you?
I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. Just gonna fucking sort this sound out. But yeah, me and Joe go way back. I think, how long have we known each other now? 15 years or something like that?
Yeah.
No, it's not been that. It's been about 13 years.
No. Right, hang on. Let's do the maths. So,
Well, I was 14 and I'm 27 now, so 13 years.
13 years, yeah?
Yeah.
You were right the first time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I said 15 years, you thick fuck.
Oh, did you?
But yeah, we it's,
How come you can say fuck but not
I don't know. I just think that fuck's a more easygoing word.
So I'm not allowed to say that? I'm not allowed to say cunt.
Well, you've done it twice now,
Right.
So yeah, fuck. I'll just have to put well, not a sensible. I'll just have to put a thingy on for people over 18 now because you're a bastard.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But yeah,
What if I say it in an Australian way?
I can.
If you say, like, can't, then...
It sounds like can.
Yeah, well, you could subtitle it as that.
Yeah, all right. It's become harder and harder for us to hang out over the last several years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got better mates now.
Yeah, exactly.
joking?
And, same. Well, I don't have any mates. But well, I'm kidding, obviously. But we used to be inseparable.
We did.
We did many moons ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, life gets in the way. Just couldn't pull that over.
We used to hang out always and forever. When you had that tiny box room, we used to sleep in there together.
We did, in that single bed.
In that single bed.
I think we didn't even sleep on floor.
We used
One
to-
of us didn't sleep on floor. We slept in the same bed together.
We used to stick together
Like glue.
with sweat
Semen.
and semen.
Yeah. But we were in a band together for a while.
We were in a band together for a while.
Mm.
Were it just one? Yeah, it was just one.
Yeah, we were just in one. We just didn't go back for now together.
Yeah.
For about a year together, weren't we?
Something like that.
Before.
Maybe a bit longer.
Maybe. I'm not too sure.
Some.
I can remember pretty much all the shows that we played.
Can you?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't really remember any Goodbye for Now shows.
Because you were wrecked at pretty much every one of them. I remember the one that we played at the Atrium, and you were just like, I've told my mum I'm going to work, but I quit. so obviously I'm not going to work. Can I come to your house? And I was like, yeah, whatever. What time are you going to be? He was like, you were like 7 a.m.
Yeah, that happened.
So you rocked up at about 7 a.m. and I was like, all right.
An interesting thing about that gig, which was hilarious, was that nobody was at it. Which that's not the hilarious bit because that was common ground. But there was the El Nino show across the road at Rio's.
It was the opening show at Rio's, and it was Il Nino and Drowning
And
Pool.
massive crowd.
And then all we saw was Steve.
Stevenson were there by himself.
In on his own, yeah. But the one show that stuck out for me though, well, two shows, was the one in Cambridge, where we got there stupidly early.
Was that when when the sound engineer was transgender?
No.
Oh, that must have been
that was probably a different show. Yeah. But this one, with the only band that was supposed to be headlining was from Cambridge, pulled out.
Oh yeah,
So
I know
we had to headline the show. Nobody turned up.
Yeah, that was.
There was us and this other band from Norwich.
Yeah.
But before the show even started, we were like, well, let's go explore the city. Let's try and pull some people in. So we did.
Where was it? What was the venue? Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. Yeah.
Are you sure that wasn't the one where we
I'm
had
sure
where we
we
had
were
the
transgender?
She was the best
they?
sound engineer ever.
Why? I can't remember that. Why?
Just really, really good at their job. Really cool. Like,
You probably never
person.
see them again, Joe. You don't need to. What happened? Yeah, but then I'm just trying to think about it. You are.
You've got Lisa and Lewis.
I don't fucking remember. I remember having a fucking food fight between cars going through High Street at fucking Cambridge.
That might be a different one then.
All the old people like fucking staring at us like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, we're seeing
These Northerners doing?
At Matt Dunwell's car.
Joe Dunwell's car as well.
Was he there?
Yeah, Joe Dunwell from the Dunwell brothers, name dropper, and he drove some people, and Matt Dunwell drove me, you, and Rob Ashley.
What the fuck was that about?
I know. And then fucking, I think showering Deumatiz, where they were like, you won't be able to get past 80 mile an hour at Deumatiz.
Yeah.
And we fucking clocked it at 95.
Yeah, and it was rattling.
Engine light just came on. Same show when Joe Dunwell fucking locked his keys in his car and you all threw up because you had a fucking Burger King that were off.
That was horrible. That was horrible. There was and the venue was interesting as well, wasn't it? It was like a public toilet. Venue, and it was like in the middle of the Chatsworth estate.
It were a good show. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'll probably never go back. But yeah, and the other show that stuck out for me was the time where it was the 10:02 launch at Rio's.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Because we nearly sold out the Rio's main stage.
That was really cool. I mean,
to this day, man, I still say
we were really young.
I'll hold by and say there should be a fucking GFN reunion. It'll never happen, but
yeah, and you've got to think as well.
Nobody listens to that shit.
Who the fuck would come to it now?
No one.
Apart from the members of the band.
No, well, he wouldn't even be trying to get the members back together because it's the fact that Matt Dunwell would not do it.
Well, interesting enough, Chris brought up a conversation with him last year about doing it, and he said he would. But it was me who was reluctant. Yeah. I'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, even for Beans, man, even if we just got a shitty little venue, could just do it. Do it in here.
I've got to stop talking whilst I've
just
got a mouthful of smoke.
I know.
We should just do it in this room.
Yeah. I don't think my neighbours would be too happy.
Just do a podcast, then we can have a virtual crowd.
True. Fucking dogs, man. The bark every show that I do, the bark every time. But yeah, anyways,
I've got a secret for you. It's actually a sound effect to that Jowett presses. He doesn't really have dogs. He just presses a button on his
keyboard,
and it goes, and yeah, it does dog barks. He's also got a laser one, but he'll do that later.
Maybe. Another one memory that sticks out for you though is the time where we had to hide from Rhino for about fucking 6 weeks.
Right? I tell people this story, and I genuinely don't think that they believe me half the time.
I was there, man. I was there. I was a part of it.
Yeah.
So when somebody doesn't believe you, like, nah, you're talking shit, be like, go ask Jowett.
Go ask Jowett.
Ask Jowett.
This
Jowett
guy
will fucking hold it up, man.
So, what was he like? Didn't he stab someone or something?
I don't know, mate. All I know is he were a bit of a ruffian.
That was like, when you're young and you know this one hard guy and there's this myth that he fucking is a serial killer or something. That was what we knew about this guy, and then all of a sudden he had a vendetta against me. Did I tell you about however that resolved one time? So anyway, no, wait, that didn't make sense. So once it had resolved, once that had finished, about a year later, I've come out of Pudsey Leisure Centre. Yeah. And I'm walking down the road, it's dark, walking down, towards our neck of the woods. Yeah. And I see Rhino across the road. This is about, maybe 2 years later or something, everything's blown over. Yeah. I see Rhino and this guy called Wayne. Yeah. And they both stood across the road, and they clocked me, and they start walking towards me, crossing the road. And I thought, this is it. I'm doomed. I'm dead. I've got my towel in my bag. I've just been swimming. They're going to put it around my face and kill me. And actually, this guy, Cheney, just goes, do you want to buy some weed? I was like, no, boy. And what's up on that, right?
Balls in throat. Yeah. No, man, because I remember when we had, at that time when we were trying to hang out, it was like, yeah, it's fine, yeah, we can hang out, but you're going to have to come to me, and you're going to have to be really fucking chill about it. You're going to have to pretend like you don't even know me. So if you do see Rhino and he's like, you look like you know that fucking fella, you need to be like, who? And
Rhino looked like a rhino as well. For those guys
Rhino did.
He was a big Brutus.
Fucking...
And he came to this shop, the back of this shop that we used to hang out with, and thought Riv was me.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And
Fuck.
and he was like, "Are you Joe? I heard he's fat and wears glasses."
Not even know what else. I just heard he's fat. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. Obviously, I don't know if you've listened to the podcast yet, or you've had, because I know you're a busy man. So getting here was pretty cool because, like I say, you're busy, working all the time. You know.
Thanks, man.
But it's nice to have you around.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. But obviously, the premise of this show is what you geek about, anything that you geek about. And I've obviously been knowing you for over a decade now. I know that you geek about a lot of things I like, some things I haven't got a clue about. But one thing that I know you do geek about is what pretty much everyone geeks about right now is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you about Game of Thrones is, how do you feel it's going to end? I know obviously we're going into the last season now. I know it's a couple of years away now, but how do you want it to end? But how do you think it's going to end? But how do you want it to end as well? Like two different questions.
Okay. That's a difficult one. These are difficult questions. I think how I really, truly, with all my heart want it to end is Ed Sheeran to be on the throne.
All right.
Obviously, that's not true.
No, obviously not.
How I really want it to end, I think, would... I don't know. I think I'd be pretty satisfied with any ending, really. Because the series as a whole has been pretty cool, and
So
it almost seems right. So you imagine like Jon gets his rightful place on the throne, or you know, Daenerys gets it. Obviously, that would be a satisfactory end, but it almost kind of seems too soft. Do you not think?
Like we're anticipating that.
Like this season, I thought maybe this season they would go real savage with it, and we'd have fucking a bunch of deaths and that. I mean, we did, but like not. It wasn't like what I expected. You know, like it wasn't like the Red Wedding kind of deaths, was it?
Fuck.
Yeah,
it was like stuff that we did anticipate happening at some point.
They were pretty soft on us this season, which makes me feel like next season they're going to be really fucking hard on us. Which leads me to think that it won't be the big happy ending, and it might be like Cersei triumphs again, or something like that. But how I want it to end would definitely be a Jon and Daenerys, the way that they've set it up now, but it's almost impossible that that's going to happen because we've got a full season to go, and the whole Jon and Daenerys thing's now at its peak, where they're like the closest they will be. They're happy, and they wouldn't have done that now if they weren't going to ruin it next season. You get me?
Yeah, true.
That's what I think anyway.
No, yeah. I mean, to be honest, like you say, it's always pretty fun to think about someone who's obviously not going to get to be on the Iron Throne, like Sam. I
mean, that would be awesome if Sam got it.
Sam
I love Sam Tarly.
Yeah, well, but
what about you? How would you like it to end?
I want to end it. Do you want to want to end it?
Yeah.
I want to see Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Take a fucking sword and just fucking launch fucking Daenerys' head off.
You do. You want him to kill Daenerys.
I think Daenerys is genuinely gonna be the fucking reason why the walkers are coming. I think that's why they're coming to stop the shit that's happened before happen again. So he's just like, shit's gone down before. We know what happens. We've been around for a long time. I'm not letting that shit happen again. I need to go. I need to go to this guy and say to him, "You fucking do this one in, or we do you in," like a fucking mafia hit.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting point, really, isn't it? Because I think what a lot of people have missed is that, like, so you got these White Walkers beyond the wall, and they're all fucking mad, and they're coming down to slay everyone. You know, they've been here before, apparently.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, last time they came, they didn't do what appears is the intention this time, which is to kill everybody and turn everybody into the army of the dead.
Yeah.
So why now is it different to before, and what is it that what's fueling their hatred? Because basically at the moment we just take it as gospel, don't we? We're just like, oh yeah, those guys look scary, so they must be bad, so they're coming to kill everybody.
Exactly.
But we don't actually know what fuels their motive.
Exactly.
And what I thought, but yours is dead interesting. But what I thought might be the logic behind it was when the wall was built, there maybe was some sort of agreement that.
Between man and Walker.
Yeah, so it was like that's their land, this is our land, and obviously with like Craster and everyone and the fucking
the Night's King and like they're all moving in like
they were basically in that land, so it's kind of like maybe it's I want to say us because I'm a human.
Like man,
but like
man has trespassed on their land.
Yeah, maybe it's man that's in the wrong.
Like the fucking
man dem.
Yeah, exactly. Like all they want to do is farm and be happy, and yet they're like, "Fuck, man, these people keep coming over."
All they want to do is just eat Craster's babies, and that.
Exactly, man. They're just like, "We have an agreement. We're going to eat the children. And we're live a life of fucking."
But they want Craster to be on the other side of the wall, posting them.
Stay the fuck away. Stay beyond the fucking wall. We'll live here. Like we know we've got the wildlings, but they keep to themselves, and we're happy without that.
But I think they might have even been mad about the wildlings.
Yeah.
Because. If they were okay about the wildlings, they would have had the wildlings help them, I guess. Well,
true, yeah. I think, well, all they need to do is fucking kill them and then just be like, get up.
But basically, the point I'm making is that we don't actually have a motive for why the White Walkers want to do it. And they're clearly more intelligent than just zombies coming to kill everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the Army of the Dead is, but the actual White Walkers...
Yeah, the whites.
Yeah,
which are the dead.
So the whites are the dead, aren't they?
Yeah, the
White Walkers are the
well, I'm pointing to that. I'm pointing to my White Walker bust.
The ones that look like Rick.
But yeah, that's what I think. But the person I want to see, I'd like to see on the throne would probably be like Tyrion, who's just like really level-headed, who's really just like, I can fucking deal with this. I know what I'm doing. But then again, Tyrion would just be like, I like fucking, man.
Yeah, I like Tyrion, though. I do like Tyrion, but there was some interesting stuff at the end of the series, wasn't there, with him? Like, he's
like, why does he get to plow and not me?
Well, that's what I thought. It could have been that, right? So let's go with that. Let's go with that look that he gave when
jealousy
when Jon and Daenerys went in the room.
Yeah,
I thought it was first thing I thought was it's jealousy. He wants to put his big massive penis in Daenerys' presumably small vagina, and then
sorry kids.
So that's like what I first thought the look was. Then I thought maybe it's a look of guilt because either he's upset that he's betraying his family, he's betraying the Lannisters, or maybe he's upset that he's betrayed Daenerys and Jon, and we just haven't seen that because you never got to see the end of the conversation between him and Cersei. You just assumed that he'd gone, that they'd made a pact, but he might have just said to Cersei, "Look, tell Jon that you're gonna fucking help him, so that
because obviously Cersei has." Spoilers, but obviously we've been spoiling this up pretty much all the way through.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. I assume by now people should have watched it. If they haven't, then they don't deserve to be involved in this conversation.
Well, they're probably not going to listen anyway, but still.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But my point, what I like that, but I think, like you say though, that we never got to see that end. But obviously we know that Cersei turned around and was like, "Am I fuck going to fucking help them in this war?
Exactly.
Am I fuck?" And Jaime was like,
"Nah,
you two-faced fucking bitch."
Do you know?
So like fucking old brass hands on his way up to fucking fucking wall to be like, let's go fucking. I know.
Yeah, but I don't know where he's going either. I mean,
I reckon he's going.
I think he's going to go.
I think he's going well.
But another thing is an interesting point as well is that I'm not sure if Cersei's actually even fucking pregnant because she the only 2 times she's brought up a pregnancy she's used it to manipulate one of her brothers. So the first time was when she manipulated Jaime, by saying it's not just us now, put her hands on the stomach, and he was like, oh, that was it. Then he was firmly on Cersei's side, and then the other time was the Tyrion one when she wanted to fucking manipulate Tyrion.
Yeah.
So she might not even be pregnant at all. She might just be like
she's pulling the old psycho bitch on
Yeah.
everybody.
yeah.
Trying to keep the men in check.
The men in check.
Yeah.
I do think it's really cool that the two most powerful in it right now are like beautiful women as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit too far away, but apparently HBO have said that we're going to get like an interim series where it's just going to be like everything that's going on outside of this, and like I don't know if it's going to be a prequel or if it's going to be like
What you mean?
look at other characters whilst we fucking make season the last season.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard about that.
apparently it's in the works. I don't know, but
I'd really love to see Robert's Rebellion.
yeah, man. I think that they're planning on doing like 3 different spin-off series where, like 3 or 4 different spin-off series where they're going to be doing prequel where we get to see everything that went on prior to Game of Thrones, and then they're going to be doing this interim series where it's like you're going to find out what all the characters that you don't really see anymore, what they do. Obviously, because we still get to see the Greyjoys, but we know we're going to get introduced to other characters and things like that. So but they might get introduced into season 8.
Yeah.
So that'd be their introduction, and then they glide into season 8. But then apparently we're going to get like a way before, like when the wall was being built.
That'd be cool. I'd like them to include some of that in the actual season because
like when fucking like
with
when
Bran,
was
like
just
I want Bran to. I love some light to be shed on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm still like a big supporter of the whole Bran is Bran the Builder theory, which
I bet
would be awesome.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, no, but
I think because especially like since Sam came in and dropped the fucking mic with that little bit of fucking, he was like, but they were married, motherfucker, who can apparently see everything but miss this one point.
Yeah, but just because he can see everything doesn't mean he's always.
He's all seeing, mate.
Yeah, but he doesn't mean he knows everything. He still has to go to see the places.
Yeah,
like,
I know, but still.
It's
pretty key thing though.
I just think it'd be so fucking cool if there was right. Let me tell you why. Do you know when Lost was out, right?
Yeah.
And it, Lost was a
big
Lost. Dog shit at the end. Like it was a big dog shit all over its fans. But one of the most interesting things what kept me hooked with that show was the Desmond episodes where he was like in these weird time loops, and it's essentially the same thing as what's going on with Bran. I just think it'd be fucking awesome if we saw Bran go back and instigate the building of the wall, like, and that's how he could be Bran the Builder. And Bran the Builder is actually more of a mythical character, but he somehow instigated it. That would be really cool. But I don't think it's going to happen at this stage. I think if it was going to happen, we'd have seen something about it already.
Yeah, I mean,
because I
genuinely think that like season 8 is just going to be all out war, and it's either going to end in a fucking treaty, end up with fucking everybody dying, or end up with fucking Jon being victorious.
I just hope it's one of the.
And what I think as well is when Sam turns around to him and says, "You're the rightful heir to the throne. You are." I can't remember what he's called. Like
Aegon. Yeah. Aegon Targaryen.
Aegon Targaryen. You are Aegon Targaryen. He's like, he just turns around. He's like, "I'm fucking Jon Snow."
Yeah.
And I just think he's just like, I
think he will.
I don't want that title.
He'll always be.
And he's like, yeah, but Jon, you did fuck your aunt.
Yeah, but you'd fuck her.
Oh man.
No, but the whole thing with Jon, like, and his morals, I'd be interested to see how Jon deals with it when he does find out that it's his aunt, because the Targaryen way is to sleep with inbred, isn't it? And so I'm not sure that it'll bother Daenerys that much, but it'll definitely bother Jon. But what will bother Daenerys is that she spent fucking 8 years or 7 years, whatever it is, like all these seasons building this, this army to come and hopefully make a dynasty. That she actually finds out that Jon Melonbutt, who she's been banging, he's actually got a higher stake to the higher claim to the throne than she has, because he's Rhaegar's firstborn. No, he's Rhaegar's only
Only
natural life son, but he's not. Rhaegar. He did have an older brother called Aegon as well, but he was killed by. He was killed in Robert's Rebellion.
Anything else that you want to discuss about Thrones? Have you got anything that you want to put theories or anything you want to say about Thrones right now? 'Cause it looks like there's a fucking fog machine just in this fucking room right now.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right. I'm gonna too.
I think I don't know. I could talk about Thrones forever, but I guess you're gonna do that actual Thrones podcast, aren't you? So get me involved in that, and we'll...
We're gonna work on a Thrones podcast where I'm gonna do like a I want you guys to argue cases. Like, obviously, I don't want you guys. I'm gonna get a couple of you guys. I'm gonna get you on. I want Mark on. Emma wants on. Emma's not been on before. I think I might get her on for just a lone podcast because she does talk absolute shit. But she's smart about stuff. Like, she does know stuff, especially about like Lord of the Rings and Thrones.
Yeah.
She's a massive anime fan, so we could talk about anime forever. But I would love to get her on. There's literally hundreds of people I'd love on, because like even Dan as well, Dan Connolly.
Yeah,
we've had on the show before.
You should just get everyone in for a big orgy.
Mate, I've got
Game of Thrones
I've got 2
session.
mics.
I've got some mics. I'll bring some mics. But then again, you need another.
I need another mixer or something.
Well, we'll just have to gather around the mics.
Yeah, it's like my turn now.
Yeah.
No,
Requiem.
But yeah, so we'll leave all the Game of Thrones talk now, and we'll move on. You posted something yesterday, and I posted something yesterday. I've known you've loved for a very, very long time, and when I saw you post the video, and I was just like, I want to talk to you about it. I don't know very much about the series of these games, but
I know what you're talking about.
You absolutely love this, and every time, like, I remember when number 3 came out, you were like, I'm gonna get it. I need to go get it. And you got it. And you literally didn't come outside for about 7 or 8 weeks, and I was worried about your health. But Metal Gear Solid, 19 years ago.
19 years ago,
19 years ago. Yesterday, and
first one came out.
And I remember sat there watching you play the first one as well.
Yeah, I mean,
over and over again.
The first one was I just got it on my chipped PS1. I had no idea what it was going to be. And I think it took me, from when I first got it, it wasn't until, because I used to, basically when I got the PS1 I was young, do you know what I mean? I was like young, before we even met.
A long time before we even met.
So,
but my dad, about the first time you got drunk though.
My dad,
we'll get to that in a second.
My dad used to chip games.
Yeah.
And I had like boxes and boxes of games, so I'd have no shortage of things to play. And I used to just keep going back to Metal Gear Solid and trying to do that first bit, because back then I wasn't bothered, or definitely would never have understood the story, the in-depth story behind Metal Gear. But then I used to buy, when the PS2 came out, I loved the PS2. And I was more into my games then. And I used to buy the PS2 magazines. And in the build-up to Metal Gear 2 coming out, there was loads of stuff on Metal Gear 2. So I was like, right, I'm going to revisit Metal Gear 1. And that's when I fully actually played it. And that's when my life changed forever. Because they're just unbelievable video games. And right from you can still play the first one now. And it's still an incredible game. I know there's a lot of games that you can still do that with, but there's also so many games that you just can't revisit now because they're just clunky and dog shit. But yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I got that one. I got the second one. I'm guessing my parents bought me or something on the PS2, and that was the one that was like I was most obsessed with, because it was just this unbelievable thing, and the graphics were insane at the time. And there's this one bit where you're having to like traverse this bridge that's been shot down by a Harrier jet, and it's like genuinely scary because of the camera angles. Or it was at the time. I just loved it. And then, like you said, when the third one came out, I lost all my friends because I didn't get anyone. And the fourth one is an interesting story. The fourth one came out, I think, 2008, and I had at the time, like I had jobs all my life, apart from this 8-month period in which I'd lost a job at a shop up the road. Remember when I worked at One Stop? Well, I can't say One Stop on here. No one's gonna sue you.
Yeah,
are they?
no one's gonna sue.
So-
I'm pretty much on.
In fact, it wasn't even called One Stop then. It's just One Stop now. It was
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Wingate or something. Anyway,
yeah. it
so
was.
I had that
I
shop.
don't even remember you working there.
Yeah. I worked there. And then I quit. And then I started working there again. And I was like a Christmas temp. And I put a Christmas tips box out on the counter, and they sacked me for it because I was trying to solicit tips out of the public. But what the hell? Is that even that bad? Anyway, that's not the part of the story. But so I was in this 8-month period where I didn't have work, so I didn't have money at all. And Metal Gear comes out, and I'm like, right, I've got to get. I don't know what games were releasing out back then when it was in PS3. Like, I'm guessing about 30, 40 quid, like it is now.
Yeah, retailing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to get this money together. So I'd like scrape, and I was literally this poor. So I'd scrape together like I must have had about £10. I need an extra £20. So me and some unnamed guys went down to an unnamed place
Oh yes, I
that
remember
was
this.
getting torn down. This big like
Yes.
factory
Was
that was
this
getting torn down.
Was this the time where you were looting lead?
Yeah.
I was genuinely. I was walking up the street the other day, and I literally just said to myself, I was just like, it was just, it was pissing it down, and I was just like, I remember the day where I had to go play Scout.
Yeah.
Where I had to go play Scout in this kind of weather, whilst a group of my friends, including Joe, went to go and just take a whole bunch of lead off
Yeah,
of the
well,
roof.
we had to climb onto these factory roofs, and it was a massive factory, right? So they were right down the other end doing work on it, and you could hear them. But the factory grounds must have been a mile, square mile or something. So they were pretty far out. But there's no way they knew we were there. But this factory was completely abandoned, and we were up on the rooftops, like peeling the tiles off and stripping the fucking lead from underneath it. And I'd been up into my mum's attic and got like 3 suitcases.
I remember.
I don't know if anyone's ever picked up lead because, you know, not everybody is as ridiculous as me. But it's fucking heavy. And I had 3 suitcases full of lead. And I had to ring Val to get his car and be like, because Val was like the first one of us that could drive. And I was like, meet me down wherever. I'm not going to say.
No.
And we filled his boot up with lead, and then we went to the thing to cash it in, and they were like, no, we can't do it, you've clearly just nicked it off rooftops. So some other guy in the queue bought it off us, and he weighed it in and then gave us money, and I got my game, and it was the best game I ever played.
Well, there you go. What's the moral of the story, though?
Have a job.
Get a job. Don't rip lead off roofs.
Get a job, yeah, because it's extremely poisonous as well.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I said I wasn't going to do it with you.
Yeah, well, you didn't need Metal Gear like I needed it.
I didn't have a job either at that time.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, it was... Yeah, I mean, I've never been that passionate about a game. You know me, I'm not a massive gamer. I don't really get it. I love the Arkham series. I can go through the Arkham constantly. And
Yeah, they're great games.
But I never got into Metal Gear. I never got into a lot of the games that you guys love. Especially like you and Liam, like you used to fucking play all the time.
Yeah.
And I never got into it. I used to, you know me, I sat there on the sofa, just been like, head in my hands, just absolutely bored out of my mind. Don't know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Well, I'm right back into gaming now. Like, you know, I've got an attic kind of like this at my house, and I've set it all up with like all my consoles and stuff, because I've got like all the retro consoles right from SNES right through to the current day consoles. I've got them all. I love it. But I've got all that stuff, and I've got my gaming PC. But actually, when it comes down to it, I'm not actually very good at games. The only game that I'm actually really any good at is Metal Gear, and that's because I've played them all through about fucking 10 times.
Same with me. Like I like the amount of times that like.
But I just love them, even though I'm not good at them.
Yeah, amount of times that like I've had people ring me or text me and be like, I can't do this bit on Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham whatever. And how do I do it? Like I've only just completed Arkham Knight recently, but because I just never got around to playing it. But I've completed all the other ones, and I've bossed them all, and I know how to do it like back of my hand. And like especially like Matty Parker were like, I don't know how to beat Mr. Freeze in Arkham City, and I was like, done. I just played it for him. But
Well, don't get me wrong, like, just because I'm not brilliant at games don't mean I don't love playing them. Like, I'm playing... My favourite game right now is this game called Overwatch, and I'm just the worst at it. Like, you know, all as pals that play it, they're all, like, super fucking good at it, and I'm just honestly atrocious at it.
as soon as you walk out.
But I love it. I fucking love it. I got up this morning, and first thing I did was go straight on it. The last thing I did before I went to bed was play on it, but I'm still dog shit. Really, really dog shit. So, yeah.
Just imagine Vicky just being like...
Well, she loves it as well.
Oh,
She's probably
true.
better than I am.
She probably will be better than you.
Yeah, she I genuinely think she is, but...
She's probably better than you at a lot of things, mate, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
But you know, other love and your other passion, other than gaming, and obviously, I'm going to say Gears of War. I know you like Gears of War as well, but Metal Gear Solid, but you were absolute fanatic about music, especially like keeping like pop punk alive as well.
Yeah, I mean I was for quite a while, but I've kind of
mellowed out.
lost my way with pop punk because I think it lost for me the newest breed of pop punk.
Has it lost its passion?
It's just not the same. It's not the same for me as how it used to be. When we were growing up, right? You remember like Blink-182 and Green Day and all that, and it was like that was this one brand of pop punk at the time, and that with sat in really nicely with like Tony Hawk's and skateboard culture and everything, and that was like this amazing time. And then that sort of died off and went into emo, and emo was like this fucking really cool like time for music and like actually socializing as well. You had MySpace, and we'd all go hang out at Cornex every weekend. And everybody was like, there was this proper music culture based around it, and I loved that. And then music culture kind of started to die off as Facebook and everything started to, as the internet sort of became more and more popular, and everybody realised that they could be in a band, and everybody realised that they could make music and be on tiny labels and stuff, and it got really, really diluted. And then in about 2012, this band called the Wonder Years came across. Well, it was actually before 2012, but that's when I really started jumping on it, on the bandwagon, if you will. This American band that they come across and they play like these shows in people's basements in Hyde Park, and there was like this really small subculture of like music and it reminded me of all the cool shit that we had before like the internet took over the world. And I mean, MySpace was still part of the internet, but it breeded the culture of emo music and everything, and it reminded me of that. Did pop punk, but then it also lost its way, and now it's like this whole thing with, and all these bands just are imitating each other, and again it's become diluted, and there's not that thing anymore. So in that sense, I've kind of lost my way with it, because I don't feel a connection to like a subculture, which is what always drew me to music in the first place. Yeah. Even though Blink-182 and Green Day and that, they were fucking massive bands, but they have still like taught you how to sort of be a little punk kid, if you know what I mean. Like get your skateboard out and just rebel against shit and do what you want to do.
That was the same for me. Like mine would now. I've never been like a huge Blink fan. Like I like some songs like Take Off Your Purple Jacket is like fucking Blink-182's Enema of the State. Like those two albums, like our childhood, really.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was like Goldfinger. Like, they were my band.
Yeah, but again, they were part of the same thing,
definitely,
weren't they?
No, definitely. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying to you is like you had Blink, I had Goldfinger.
Yeah.
But
for me, it was like Blink opened the doors to those bands for me, because when I was obsessed, me and Liam, we were obsessed with Blink. When we first got us guitars, we would sit in front of my mum's computer and try and learn Blink riffs.
Yeah.
And as soon as, you realise that Tom DeLonge skated, it was like skating was the coolest thing in the world ever. So then when you get into skating, and then you hear about all these awesome like skate bands that are coming out of America, and Goldfinger was one of them.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first time I ever heard Goldfinger, it was my sister's boyfriend at the time handed me. He was a skater, and he handed me a this blank CD, and I didn't know what was on it.
Yeah.
And he just went, I was like, what's on it? He was like, I don't know, my mate gave me it, so I'm just giving you it, because I've listened to it, I don't want it anymore, you can have it. So I was like, cool. And it was literally Goldfinger and Real Big Fish. That was all it was. And then next thing I knew, this was in like 2002, 2002, and then in 2003 it was a tour with the Matches were opening, and Zebrahead,
Yeah.
Goldfinger,
Yeah.
and Real Big Fish. And
Nice.
I begged my mum. I was like, Mum, you've got to let me go to this gig. She was like, well, Mum, let you go on your own. And my sister's boyfriend at the time was like, I'll take him.
Yeah.
So he took me to this gig, and I went with Bellwood and Mandy,
Yes.
who later on in life became very good friends of ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are another couple of people that we don't see anymore. But
Yeah. Well, I occasionally see Bellwood, to be fair.
yeah, I can't remember last time I saw him.
But
Oh, it was Slam Dunk. Slam Dunk was the last time I saw him.
yeah. Did I tell you about my story at Slam Dunk linking in?
We're going to get onto Slam Dunk very shortly.
No, but I mean it links into Goldfinger.
Oh, does it? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we're getting there.
We'll get there.
All right. Okay.
We'll get there. We'll come. We'll tangent off into that
All right.
in a moment. So what was I going to say? But, like, obviously for me, I've progressed into like. Don't
Shit,
hit
sorry.
the microphone.
I'll try to blow the smoke out of it, and I punched it instead.
No, I've obviously grown, and even like you showed me like a lot of bands that people look at you now and be like, oh, you know, he loves pop punk, but I know Joe, and I know you a lot more than a lot of people who you've just met, like not just met, but like only know for a few years, and I'm like, did you know that Joe used to listen to Mushroom Head?
Mushroom Head was sick, mate. I still love them all. Everybody assumes that I'm like pop punk
Yeah, exactly.
101, but my two favourite bands are Brand New, who were the darkest, emoist
Yep.
thing you've ever heard,
Uh-huh.
and Deftones, who are like, you know,
Exactly.
new metal, rap metal, fucking
Yeah, just
scapey. I don't know what Deftones are. They're just Deftones, and that's
Just
why they're
Deftones,
fucking
man.
cool.
That's it, man.
And
And
Korn, they were my favourite fucking band growing up.
I mean, like, for years and years, me and you argued fucking constantly, because it was just like, I've never been a big fan of Brand New. I was never a big fan of Deftones. And then you showed me Deja Nintendo, and I was like, this album's fucking incredible.
Yeah, the bug catches everyone with Brand New eventually. I think it's
But anything after that, I've just been like, eh.
yeah.
Anything before, I was like, eh. But I'll always go back to that album.
Yeah,
If
that
I'm ever
album's,
like feeling just a bit, I
Well,
just
that
I listen to
album
that
was-
album. It's not one of those albums that's like intentionally makes you feel good, but that album tends to make me do like, and
I mean-
especially when like Sick Transit Glory comes on, and I'm like, fucking yes, that fucking dun dun dun.
Yeah, that album's incredible. That song's incredible. The thing about that album, what got me was, you know, you had all these bands coming out at the time. Oh no, you had all these bands coming out. Not that they like you had, you know, Taking Back Sunday and all these emo bands like My Chemical Romance and stuff, and they were all fucking awesome. And then there was Brand New, who did the same thing. They made awesome music, but also the guy wrote like he was a fucking 50-year veteran poet. He was like,
He is a fucking poet, man.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, hang on a minute, we can write these sad songs about missing our girlfriends or whatever it is. These emo, like, you know,
Girlfriend left
songs.
me. And,
Yeah, but you can do them in a way that is just unbelievably like, just the best lyrics ever. That's what Deja did.
He's a very intellectual guy as well. It's just like he knows how to. He doesn't use the same words twice.
He's the man.
I've noticed that, like reading a lot of their lyrics, he doesn't use the same words twice. Obviously, when it's chorus, it's obviously repetitive.
Well, yeah, obviously,
but,
yeah.
But
No, I agree.
it's really, he's a fucking genius, and it takes a lot for me to fucking stand up and say that, because I still, Brand New were good in some aspects for me, but
Yeah.
I'll never say that I will go out of my way to listen to it. Like the new album, I've listened to a little bit of it, and it's not grabbed me. It's another one of those albums that just doesn't grab me, but I'm sure it might grab me at some point. Like, because you drilled it into me, especially when we used to go driving. Like when we were driving town to do shows or something like that, you'd stick on. I can't remember what the album.
Devil and God.
Yeah, you would.
That's my favourite album.
You would
ever.
put that on, and it would drive me insane, because I knew
It's so
the
fucking good.
songs, but I just didn't care. But
that new album he's a lot like Devil and God as well in many ways.
yeah.
It's really good.
But going on Deftones as well, like as well, we used to argue about Deftones because I was just like, I just don't like it. Just never got into it. And then Diamond Eyes came out,
Diamond Eyes.
and I was a very light
Great
bloomer.
album.
I was very late
Yeah.
into it, and Diamond Eyes came out, and I was like, when did Deftones get good? But then I listened to the back catalogue, and I was like, Deftones have always been good.
Yeah.
What was wrong with me? But
Well,
I think
that's
it's because it's kind of progressed with age, and it's like I've grown up and just been like, I like bizarre, like not bizarre music, but I like bands that aren't like other bands.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think generally the way that it seems to go is that people hate, or not hate, but people tend to dislike bands that do something different until it clicks with them.
Yeah.
And for me, Deftones and Brand New just clicks really early, but there's a bunch of other bands doing weird shit that don't click for me until I haven't clicked until recently. Like, I don't know, like the White Stripes, I never really liked them, and then I found myself listening to a song and being like, this is really fucking cool. Who is it? In my mate's car. And he was like, oh, it's Jack White from the White Stripes. It's his solo stuff. And I was like, dude, this guy's a brilliant songwriter. So then listening to the White Stripes, I was like, oh yeah, actually, it was really good. It was just too weird for me at the time.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what happens in music. That's why my lost love of pop punk a bit is so strong, is because every single thing that comes out currently just sounds like the last thing that came out.
Yeah.
There's nothing that goes, whoa, yeah, that's really cool. That grabs me right in the dick.
That's another thing. Like we like bands like Every Time I Die, and obviously you know
Oh.
that I am a huge fan of that band.
I love that band.
However, the last few albums I've just been like, all right,
Really?
yeah. Like I've just not got on
I
board
love
with
Floor
it.
Teens.
Not got on board with it. I like some. Don't get me wrong. I like some tracks, but I think because when they start doing all the oldest, when going back to the roots,
Yeah.
and I like that, but I like that for that album, those
Yeah.
albums. But when they moved and progressed into doing like Gut Phenomenon and Big Dirty, Big Dirty,
Yeah,
because I was thinking about the fucking other album, the other EP that you had, but they moved into that, and I was like, these are fucking, and New Junk, absolutely,
Yeah.
those albums were absolutely
New Junk
amazing.
aesthetic. But the thing, as well, what you don't realise when you get older is that when you're young and a band brings out a new album, you kind of, or not even that, you're just so open to listening to fresh music. And then when you get older, because your back catalogue's so full of stuff that you like to listen to already,
Yeah.
you can't. I find anyway. I have less time that I dedicate to listening to new music, because it's like, well, why don't I just listen to this album that I fucking know that I already love?
Yeah. Well, like, I went on, obviously, a few years ago, I talked about this when I had Justin Eastwood on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
From Cold Summer.
yeah.
And we were talking about when I went
Love
on tour
Justin.
with those guys, and about He's Legend, but I found He's Legend through Last FM. When you could just type a band in and it'd just play your related artists.
Yeah.
And I typed in, I was Merely Innocent Disaster, and they came on. I was like, I really like this band, but then the first two albums, I Am Hollywood and Suck Out the Poison, are like the first albums, like you could really tell that they were trying to find what they wanted to do. Suck Out the Poison was like, right, they found a way that they want to go down. It's like a southern rocky vibe. But then when you listen to the new albums, like It Hates You, Heavy Fruit, and Few,
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
like. I think you would enjoy it. I think you would like them albums because they are very Deftones-esque.
Yeah.
They are very. They've got some really like catchy tunes, but they've got some really like deep and meaningful. And Skylar Croom, the vocalist, is a fucking lyrical genius, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking great, and he's a really nice guy as well.
Cool. I'll have to check him.
Yeah, check it out. What I'm gonna say now? Yeah, let's. We'll talk about what else you geek about after the story because I know I can see it in your eyes. You want to
What?
tell about this slam dunk story.
Oh, right,
So,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So we're gonna move. I've got it on the list of what I want to talk about anyway. So it's you work for Slam Dunk,
Yeah, well, I'm not.
sort of.
Yeah.
You do.
I do,
Yeah.
but I kind of like work for myself, but do work for something. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Like self-employed, but you've got an employer.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yes, guys, we are grown up and we know what self-employed means.
Yeah, but I don't work for anyone else. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
employed. I have a day job, but then I also do work for Slam Dunk because obviously I fucking love it. So yeah, do you want me to tell you about what happened?
Well, I already know the story, but you tell everyone else.
What?
Because I remember when I found out, and
Oh, did you see it?
I saw your Instagram post.
Yeah.
And I was like, who told me about it? I think Katie told me about it when actually at Slam Dunk, and I was just like, my jaw just dropped, and I was like, oh my god. So go on, tell the listeners.
So I basically I do production running on the festival. Slam Dunk Festival is this like 1 day festival that runs in Leeds, London, and Birmingham. And I was working on all 3 days, and basically on the first day, one of the stage managers texts me and he's like, "Joe, I need one of the artists picking up from the train station because like he's very particular, shall I say? Like, you know, he just wants to make sure everything runs smoothly, and he's picking up from the train station, bringing to the venue." So I was like, right, yeah, cool, I'll do it. So I rock up to the thing, and it's John Feldman, the front man of Goldfinger, and obviously he's like world-renowned producer as well. And also
world-renowned because like you think of a fucking artist like anything down to fucking Ashley Simpson, and he's fucking done that shit, and it's absolutely insane. He did Blink's new. He did Blink's.
He did Blink's latest album, and won some Grammys. But yeah, but if you were to take my phone out and go on my Instagram, and you know how it has like the stories at the top, and you know how it kind of like bunches the ones you watch most to the front. So I've got my girlfriend at one, Vicky's there, and then after Vicky is John Feldman. Yeah. And I always watch that all the time. Yeah. So I get to this thingy, and I did know, I made it kind of sound like I didn't know that it was going to be Feldman, but I did know it was going to be Feldman, but I didn't realise he was going to have his family with him. Yeah. And I get there, and he's got his, you know, he's always posting about his family, his wife, and his kids, and they're all there, and it was just like this weird, like, moment for me where it's like, hang on a minute. I watch this guy's Instagram every day. I see how much he posts on his story, and now I'm here escorting him. And the first thing he does is whips out his phone and starts Instagramming around. And it was just this really fucking cool moment that went full circle for me, where I ended up in his Instagram story, and he tagged me in it. And yeah, it was really cool. But I started getting like, so I got a few ads off some really weird people who I've since unfollowed, like Spanish people, and they like tag me and stuff that have pop punk like Goldfinger stuff, like as if they think I'm like John Feldman's mate or something. But that was really cool. Like, obviously got to meet him sort of on a because it's different to going to a show and meeting him as a fan. When you're working for him, essentially, it's a completely different side. Do you know what I mean? And so to meet him on that sort of level was really, really cool, but also really intimidating, because he's a really intimidating guy based on what mood he's in on the day. Because his life as the front man of Goldfinger is that he's in sort of a band that had its prime in the early 2000s and play still for nostalgic reasons, but are not a world star band anymore. But as a producer, he lives this high life in Hollywood where he's like, you know, producing all these major artists, winning awards. He's really, really, as a person, like an A-list celebrity or sort of that sort of lifestyle.
Like, he's not unknown in the music industry. He's not like one of those producers that's like, he's good but very unknown. John Feldman is known.
So he's like
a lot of people.
So he's like on the second stage about midway through the day, late evening. They're on stage about 6-7 p.m. But he's
6
used to
o'clock,
living.
mate, 'cause I was there.
He's used to living this life of straight up luxury. Do you know what I mean? So whereas you've got bands above him that they're like, yeah, it's fine. Stick me in my dressing room, couple of cans of Monster, couple of bottles of beer, whatever. Well, a couple of cases of Monster beer. And they're all fine with it, but Feldman wants picking up from the thing. He wants escorting everywhere. You know, he wants to make sure that there's production routes out for him so that he's not
bombarded.
You know, bombarded by fans and shit like that, which is fair enough because it would happen. But yeah, it was just like, so it was really intimidating at the same time as being really cool. But I did slip in a couple of fangirl things. I was like, I'm really pleased you played Mabel because you don't ever play that, and that was like one of my favourite songs. And then he was like, we were going to drop that from the set. I'm going to keep it in the set now for the next 2 days. And I was like, yeah. So it was fucking cool.
Nice.
So yeah, it was basically John Feldman's, I nearly said escort. John Feldman's escort. No, I was. Yeah, he's chaperone for the weekend for him and his family, and his wife and kids. Really, really, really nice. And I think he didn't like the last show as much as he liked the rest of them because down south it was on a smaller stage and there was less people there and it was raining while they played.
Yeah.
And so I could tell he was in a kind of drawn back mood on the drive back to the station at the end of that. But his wife was like, "Oh, we'll see you on Monday, yeah, we'll see." And I was like, "Oh no, this is me done now," because she thought that I was gonna be
driver.
like driving him around on the whole tour.
Yeah.
And yeah, and John just sort of gave me this stern handshake. But whereas the day before when he was super pumped because he'd done Leeds and it was in the arena, it was massive. He was like all chatty and everything, but he was just like, give me this stern handshake at the end. I was like, take care of yourself, and walked off. But his wife was like, do you know this is the last time I'm going to see him? And John was like, yeah, and then just walked off.
Well, man, I mean, it's not even just that. It's as well for you at Slam Dunk. You get to meet a lot of different bands that you've grown up loving. I know you did a lot of stuff with Less Than Jake.
Yeah. We Slam Dunk have had Less Than Jake on a bunch of times. I actually managed to. So I was watching them from side stage at the Stylus.
Yeah.
And they were playing away, and they get to the end of this song, and they're like, "Right, we want a fat guy dance off." And so they're like, "We need 2 people from the crowd." And I was like, "This is my time. I'm not even gonna let him get the second guy from the crowd." So I just peeled my shirt off and got on stage. And yeah, we had this fat guy dance off in this sold out show at the Stylus in Leeds, and I was like pouring beer down my big Ripley belly, and it was awesome.
Sick, man.
But yeah, they were really nice guys, especially one of the horn players. I forget his name. He's like really cool and was happy to share his grey Grey Goose with us. Expensive bottle that is. I should know. I had to go to Morrison's and buy it on the rider.
Very nice. But yeah, what I was going to say is, not only do you, because of what you work at Slam Dunk, but obviously you've been in quite successful bands over the for as long as we've been friends, really. Like, because Goodbye For Now, they were semi-successful, though we had a very good following around where we live in Leeds. Yeah. But Call's Landing.
Yeah.
Call's Landing did really fucking well, and it's a shame, obviously, it's moved on, but
yeah, we did
all the members have gone on to do bigger and better things, you know.
Yeah, well, so basically, it's more that Cam, the bass player, is living in Boston at the moment, and Charlie's living in Paris. He was the drummer, but you know, we're all still chatting and stuff.
I still know your friends, but it's, you know, you've all gone separate ways from the band.
Yeah.
Because like I say, you've moved on to bigger and better things. You know? Not so much you,
dude. I'm engaged now.
I know you,
and I've got an adult job.
Yeah, but so do I.
Yeah, but I'm saying that is bigger and better things for me.
That is big.
Then you know, and Call's Landing won't make me money.
But like I say, you've played with a lot of bands. Like, one thing that shot, like, you're not comfortable,
dude. This fucking chair's my ass is hurting. if you, I mean, I'm sure you don't know anyone who's listening, but Jarrett's got me sat on a garden chair, like a wooden creaking garden chair that he brought inside.
Do you want my chair?
No.
You can have. Yeah, stop whinging. You can have my chair.
I want new ass cheeks.
You can take the chair.
Right, okay, yeah, you have a go on this one, because I'm going to get fucking piles.
Yeah, it's just slight intermission. But yeah, what I saw a while ago, and obviously this was when Cole's Landing was still going.
This is better.
You like that
This
one?
is nice.
Yeah, I can see why you don't like this one, man. My literally instant numb ass cheeks. But you got to play a show with a band that I really enjoy listening to. Motion City Soundtrack.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And not only did you get to play it, where did you come under the bill?
So we were main support to them,
Exactly.
and it was their 10-year. It was the show that they were doing for 10 years of Commit This to Memory, which
is my favourite fucking album.
Yeah, it's my favourite album by them as well. And it was just, it was just really cool. It was a really cool opportunity. And yeah, big up Craig McVeigh. That's the guy who got us the show.
Craig McVeigh.
Craig McVeigh used to be the guitarist in a band called Fine Young Firecrackers.
All right.
And now he's like a big shot promoter. He lives in Barcelona, and he promotes in Liverpool and Barcelona and Amsterdam.
Very nice.
And he's just a real nice guy.
Sick.
And he hooked us up with that show.
Thing is, as well, is that I wouldn't say that you're so much of a reason that I've met my fiance, but I don't know if I've ever told you this story. Basically, the way I met her was we worked opposite each other. I worked in one restaurant, she worked in another. They were going to remain nameless because.
Did you used to pass like glances at her?
So that's weird. I'm just gonna stick that back up. So we were up in the stock area, in the stock room, because we all shared like a big stock area.
Oh yeah.
And we were. I was finishing, but she was getting the stock to go back.
You were
down to the
finishing.
restaurant.
You were finishing on her in the stock room.
No, but we were chatting, and I was like, just met general chit chat. I thought, oh, she's pretty cute. So I was like, oh, you got it download? And she was like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. And I was like, you should come. It's gonna be a good time. I'm going. We should meet up and get high and shit. She's like, yeah, cool. I was like, oh, what bands do you like? Because obviously I didn't know what the fuck it was. She didn't even know her name at this point. She was like, oh, I'm off to a gig tomorrow night. I'm off to go see Death of Anna at the Wardrobe. And I was like, my friend's playing there, which obviously that friend is you. And she was like, oh, who is it? I was like, I think the main support, Cole's Landing. And I was like, one of my closest friends, one of my oldest friends, Joe, is the singer. And she was like, all right, I'll watch him. So she came, and then I saw her at work a couple of days later, and she was like, oh yeah, it was really good, really good. I was like, oh yeah, we should go on a date sometime. And she was like, all right, yeah. So literally
I'm glad to have been a part of it.
Yeah, so
I'm the Cupid that zinged my
it
arrow
was
into
an intentional Cupid,
into your buttocks.
into the buttocks. Moving on, because I really want to get to these questions.
Yeah,
but
let's do it.
Is there anything else that you geek about? Just real quick.
So what have we done? We've done video games. We've done music.
Done Game of Thrones.
We've done Game of Thrones.
I know you love TV shows, but we can do.
I guess that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah,
that's all that I geek about.
Yeah, right. Well, on this podcast, if you've listened to the podcast before, we don't really. I've never done this before, so this is Joe's. This is the debut of. I want to say it's like. I'm going to score you on some things that you're going to get. I've given Joe 5 questions to answer. I'm going to take his answers. I'm going to score him on his answers, and then he's going to take my answers, and he's going to score me on mine. The way it's going to work is going to be like you've got to give the answer and argue the case.
Okay.
Okay. Based on the argument, not the answer, is what you're going to get scored on.
All right. Okay.
So it's going to go. The scoring goes from 1 to 5. 1 being not very good, 5 being fantastic.
Are these questions that I don't?
You do know. These are the questions that I've already sent you.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've sent you them. You know.
I feel like I should have put more effort into the answers now.
Well, I told you. I said to you in the message that you need to argue the case.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Nah.
I said. These are questions I need you to think of answers for and arguments, and to argue against it.
All right. Well, I just didn't read it then.
Read it.
But I've got my answers. I'll argue my cases.
Right.
It's all right.
The first question is if you could have any band do the soundtrack for any movie, what band would it be and what movie? But it can't be your favourite band or your favourite movie.
Well, this... Okay, I thought that this would be excellent, just excellent to watch. Maybe only for me.
But that's it. But if you argue your case and win me over, then you're going to get points.
So, did you ever watch, like, you know, these coming-of-age sort of teen movies, you know, like Van Wilder and everything?
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
you know, like, yeah, and they always had, like, the really early pop-punk soundtracks. I want to see that in a really horrible film.
So name a film.
So I want to see Requiem for a Dream.
Right. Is that why you keep saying Requiem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a Serbian film.
Oh, right. Jesus.
No, I don't. I've never actually watched that film. Liam just showed me some horrific
I have
parts.
seen that film because I watched it with Liam, and
he just showed me some
tried
horrific
to make
parts.
me watch it over. I think we watched it
Not a
several
Serbian
years ago,
film,
but never mind.
But
We'll get
yeah,
onto that in a
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
And I want the soundtrack to be done by Sugar Cult.
I thought I knew Sugar
Stuck in America.
I was stuck in listening to Sugar Cult the other day.
I'm bouncing off the walls again.
Smacked up.
So, imagine that to the most depressing film you've ever seen. Like, I know it might not be a strong argument. I didn't realise I have to put together a solid argument for it, but who wouldn't want to see that? Like, that'd be pretty fucking great in my eyes.
Okay.
Alright, so score me a
I'm
solid...
not going to tell you it scores.
Alright.
Yeah. So
Well, you're going to tell me... You going to tell me at end?
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me it all?
I'm going to tell you about that.
Oh, right, okay.
So, like, I'm going to tell you when I've done, when you're done, and then you're going to tell me when I've done my arguments.
Okay.
So, if you could have dinner with one movie or TV star, who would it be?
So this I came up with a fairly serious answer.
Okay.
Actually, this also goes back to a question you asked earlier, which I completely missed out. One other thing that I super nerd out on, much to Vicky's dismay, is physics. I fucking love physics.
Okay. I've changed it actually on here, and I did send you celebrity, so you can use a celebrity.
I would say that this guy's a celebrity
Probably.
because he's a physicist.
Is it Neil
It's
deGrasse
Neil
Tyson?
deGrasse Tyson. Who don't want to have dinner with Neil deGrasse Tyson? But also because I find myself, I watch all these videos that they do, like all these physics stuff and all the really cool things that they say, and I have 1,000 fucking questions, but I can't get any of them answered because I don't know anyone as smart as Neil deGrasse Tyson.
We don't know Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well,
but if you went to dinner with him, you could
That's
answer
what I'm
that
saying.
shit.
I want to sit down and just pick his brain over dinner. I'll buy it. I'll pay it. You know, just fucking have dinner with me. All right, Neil.
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So, no. All right. Okay. So, question 3. What movie should they reboot? I'm not asking for a film that
Yeah, describe this one because I had a bit of trouble like thinking of this.
So
one.
basically, a film that you either enjoyed when you were younger or you enjoy now, but you feel that it wasn't done in the best way possible, but you feel that movie should be rebooted in a way that is going to do that film justice.
Okay.
So, so for instance, I'm just spitballing, but like for instance, so Fantastic Four. Obviously, the last Fantastic Four reboot was absolutely diabolical. Nobody fucking watched it. It was the fucking awful thing you'll ever see. But Fantastic Four's story in a whole is fantastic.
He's a Fantastic Four.
It's the Fantastic Four.
Right. Yeah. Okay. My serious answer to that one would be, and they've kind of already done it, I guess, is obviously, how do you feel about the new Star Wars films?
So, like Episode 7.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's for me. I obviously being a Star Wars fan, I really enjoy Episode 7, but I enjoyed Rogue One a hell of a lot more.
All right. Okay. Well, even Rogue One, yeah. But what I'm saying is, for me, I would love to see what they could do with episode 4, 5, and 6 now. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
Like, I would love to see that. That's my serious answer, but that's not that.
All right. No, but I'm going to still take it.
I mean,
But you can give me a.
well, I just want to see another Bad Boys. Like, can we just make the first Bad Boys again, or make Bad Boys?
But would you
season-
still cast?
No.
No.
Instead of Martin Lawrence, I'd have that other little one, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. And then instead of Will Smith, I think we should go like white.
All right, so there's not enough racism in
I don't mean
Hollywood at the
it's
moment.
not because I don't like
No.
Will Smith.
No,
I just think that'd be great.
so go on then, cast it.
So
You've got your
Kevin Hart in
Kevin
place
Hart.
of Martin Lawrence,
yeah.
and I'm not sure that there's a better man to play it than Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to play Will Smith.
Right. Okay.
But they wouldn't black up. He would just.
He wouldn't black up. All right. So we're gonna go with Bad Boys. You want to reboot Bad Boys?
I want to reboot Bad Boys in that way, in that exact way. But is that my phone
Yeah,
again?
that's your phone.
I would be very interested in what they could do with Star Wars.
Well, obviously because we are looking into doing Bad Boys 3 still. I'm fairly happy with that. I'm fairly happy with with your casting. I think Glenn Howerton he's a cheap actor, so you're definitely going to be able to get him.
Yeah,
Like if somebody went over to if you said I'm going to make
Kevin Hart's on the up, but Kevin Hart is definitely the
Kevin
new
Hart's
age.
expensive.
He's definitely the new age Martin Lawrence, though.
Oh, definitely. I agree. Right. Yeah. Okay. You got anything else to add to that? Or
No, I'll take the
Okay,
score. I'll
you're gonna
take
take the score.
whatever shitty
So-
score I've got. For that one.
what TV star would you put in a movie or TV?
Well, it's in my pocket over here. I don't know what's going on now. I'm just a popular guy. Where do I have to put it for it to not do that? There you go.
Next time you're gonna have to turn it off. Sorry.
I'm not going over there to turn it off. So
No, I'm not. Right. So, what TV star would play you in a movie or TV show? So it can be a TV show or obviously a movie.
So is
Your
this who I
life.
would like or who would be most suitable?
I'd say both. I'd say it has to be something that you would it have to be suitable for you, but you'd have to okay it. So if somebody came up, if a producer came up to me and was like, we want to get this guy to play you, and that guy was unacceptable, but you were like, what about this guy who I can okay on? But if they did come up to you, that guy, you'd be like, fucking too,
Well,
right, let's do that.
Do you know when you see those memes? That's like I don't know. It's like expectation and then reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, my expectation is that Kit Harington
Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
would play me.
I sent this out as an email at work,
Yeah.
and people answered it, and I got a Kit Harington. I got a lot of Kit Harringtons.
Because I am as close to Jon Snow as I think I can get.
All right, okay.
No, I'm joking. But the reality is that it would probably be whatever he's called, Bradley Summer, the guy who plays Sam Tarley.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. But Sam Tarley is, I mean, some people who are listening might not know who Liam is, but Sam Tarley is me and Liam put together.
Yeah.
You need to just inspect that. Yeah, when you get a moment, go on, look at his face, and you'll be like, "That's fucking Liam." And look at his body,
I already know, mate.
and you'll be
I
like,
look
"That's
at him
fucking
and I'm
me."
just like, that's fucking. Yeah.
So-
all right, so I don't know what his real name is. Real life, so Sam Tarley.
Wibbly wobbly Bradley. Something like that. So yeah, that
But is that your argument? Because
Well-
it kind of looks like you.
well, I think he's about as close as you can get to me, and you know, I'd like to see him in a. I think he's fucking hilarious, is Sam Tarley.
Yeah, he is.
But he's obviously restricted. His hilarity is restricted based on his character that he's playing. I'd love to see him be as much of a dickhead as I am.
Yeah.
So
Getting pissed
that-
off in the back garden or making a fucking vodka and spring roll smoothie.
vodka and spring rolls movie.
That's legitimately happened, ladies and gentlemen.
But
In my
obviously, if
kitchen.
Kit Harington's up for it, then him.
All right. So if the producer came up to us like, we want to cast, if a casting director actually came up to us like, I've got Kit Harington who wants to play you, you'd be like, fucking sign it. I'm on board.
Absolutely, I would.
Right. But if they were like, well, we've asked Kit, he's going to think about it, but we've definitely got the guy who played Sam Tyler, you'd be like, all right, I can still sign off on that.
I'd be like,
let's hold.
Do you know
out.
what? That makes full sense. But
what if they got Sam? What if they said, right? Kit Harington said he'll play you, but only if Sam Wibbly Wobbly Bradley plays the Liam character. I'd have my money.
Yeah. I'd give him money.
I want to know you'd cast as me, but we'll get.
There's only one person, but let's get to it.
I want to know.
You wanna?
Yeah.
It's gotta be Kevin Smith. And it like.
Yeah.
Could it really be anyone else?
True.
Like, the more that time goes on, the more that you morph into him. I feel like you do need to dye your beard black though.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Genuinely thought about it. Okay, moving on to the fifth and final question I've sent you. I sent you what Game of Thrones. It's not like they snog, marry, avoid.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what order I want them in.
Okay.
And you're going to get scored on each one of your answers. So it's a 3-part question. So you're going to get scored on the individual snog, marry, avoid, whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry. It's not a collective point. So you can make your points up here.
Yeah.
If you've not got many points, you can make your points up. Okay. So what Game of Thrones character would you fuck, kill, and marry? First of all, fuck. Go.
Well, I'm going to go totally white bread and down the middle with this one, but it's got to be sweet Khaleesi. I know that's going to give me a low score or whatever, but she is the hottest fucking thing on TV right now for me. Emilia Clarke. Like, and she's got the whole, actually you're 10 times hotter when you're Daenerys, because she's like got the brown hair in real life. And it adds a certain level of mystery to it. But yeah, I'd definitely fuck her. Sorry, okay. Vicky.
It's alright. Girlfriend, if Vicky wanted to do one, she can do one.
She'd smash John. I know she'd smash John.
I'd fucking smash John.
Yeah.
Right, kill. You don't look at my answers, motherfucker.
I'm not looking at your answers. So, who would I kill? See, when I was thinking of the answers to these, right, I didn't realise that we were going to have to come up with, I was going to be scored on my answers. So I thought I was thinking who I would genuinely want to kill.
Yeah.
I genuinely
that's why I said don't tell me, because I didn't want to tell you what I was doing.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to plunge a blade through Cersei, but also, hang on, don't put that down as my answer.
Okay.
Also, someone who really, really gets on my nerves, who I would like to kill, probably, actually, is Sansa. And I know that she's quite a favourite to a lot of people, but she's just this moaning little bint, and it's really fucking annoying me. Like, she's just like this mangy little fuck. Like, you've got Jon, who's going out and, like, thrusting his dick into the Dragon Queen, and you've got, Arya, who's like this little badass now, who's like nicks dead people's faces and that, and then you've got Bran, who's like this,
all-seeing
god. Yeah, like he can be an animal, he can be anything and float about. He knows everything. He's like just this fucking lord. And then you've got Sansa, and what does she do? She just fucking moans all the fucking time, and she's like, so. Yeah.
What are you gonna go with? Sansa.
Sansa, yeah. Sansa.
I like that. You may have made some points up there. Right. Some really good points there.
Marry for me. If Westeros would be no, okay, right, I'll tell you what, right. Definitely Brienne of Tarth. She's who I would marry, because I don't know that I would ever feel safer, because for all the big barreling flab of man that I am, I'm a big teddy bear, really.
Yeah, I know you are.
And it would be really nice to have Brienne just to be the big balls in the relationship, right. And I could just be like, yeah, I'm safe, I'm happy here, I'm home. But I couldn't promise that I wouldn't have a fling on the side with Bron, because Bron of the Blackwater is a fucking ledge.
Nice.
He's a straight up ledge.
Because of that, I'm going to give you a good score on that as well. I know I'm going to give you a good score. Right. So that's the 5 questions done.
Right.
So let's count.
What are you doing? You changing my scores
No,
there?
no. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to think of giving you fair scores.
I think my answers were fair.
Right. Okay. Right. You count. So you got 5, 10, 15, 20.
Sansa. I've never loved another woman, Sansa.
I can't fucking concentrate. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's 35, yeah?
It's out of 35.
Yeah.
Alright. Go on then, lay it on me. What's my score?
19.
19?
Yeah, you got 2 for Requiem of a Dream, which you would call.
Look, right. I stand by it.
I know, that's fine, but I just don't think you... Because like you say, you didn't know you had to argue your case, but even you didn't even, like, give me anything to go by. You were just like, I just think it'd be good.
But it would.
It's not enough. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you got 3.
Alright, yeah.
Because I just feel like you're right. I think it'd be a really interesting dinner, but like I say, you did argue with it. It was good. Bad Boys 3, I gave you a 3 as well because that's genuinely something I would love to see.
Yeah.
If they did a reboot, I would like to see Kevin Hart and Glenn Hartson. Yeah, maybe. You as Sam Tarley. Oh, Sam Tarley as you. Yeah, all right. I'll give you a 3. Daenerys as fuck. Everybody would say that.
Yeah,
mate.
but the thing is, everybody's saying it because everybody wants to fuck her. Do you understand?
Yeah,
like,
think outside the box.
who's left? Who am I going to fuck, are you?
Fuck a dude.
Yeah, but then I'm going to say John, and then that's right down the middle of the road as well.
You got 2 for that, but you got 4 for Sansa.
Yeah.
You got 4 for Sansa, killing her, and you got 4 for Brianna Tarth. So that's 2. That's,
I'll take that.
That's 10, 13.
19, I can deal.
No, not 19, sorry, I got it wrong. I missed one question out. So you got 19, 21.
21, I can take that.
21 out of 35. Right, my turn.
Right, am I asking the same questions?
Yeah, mine are exactly the same. I'll read them and then you can just.
Well, you're going to win this because you knew what were coming.
Yeah, I know.
Right, okay.
Right, so the question 1 again is if you could.
You see how you marked them, right? Yeah, okay, I see.
Right, so I said for the first question, if you could have any band do any soundtrack from any movie, do the soundtrack for any movie, what band would it be and what movie? So I put Steel Panther.
Okay.
For American Pie Reunion. Not American Pie, not American Pie 2, or The Wedding Reunion. I just feel that movie needed something more comedy value to it. I just think it was just one of these films that was left for people to have a bit more of a nostalgic value because like when we were teenagers we were like, yeah, let's do American Pie. But I think that when you got older and Reunion came out, everybody was like, well, it's just the fucking same jokes rehashed. If we got a more up-to-date soundtrack on it, it'd probably be more funny, especially with a band like Steel Panther, who sing about fucking and taking drugs. Why not?
Alright, yeah, I can get behind that.
Right. You ready? Number 2? Right, so number 2 is if you could have dinner with dinner with a celebrity.
If you could read.
Yeah, if I could read. We've already established this. Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
Why? Because who the fuck would want dinner with that fucking...
You just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You could have just a really chilled out, you have a really nice conversation with him, or you could get the fucked up Shia LaBeouf who's just going to be like, let's go kill a horse.
Imagine though if you went for dinner with Shia LaBeouf and it was a really shitty time because he was just in that weird, strange dickhead mood, and then they got your order wrong as well. It'd just be an awful evening.
Yeah, but if you got your order wrong and he's in that fucking weird mood, you know shit's gonna go down. I want to go. Right. I want to go for the interesting value. I don't want to just have a conversation. I want to be like, is this kind of crack? But my argument is, as I've written, because you don't know what you're in for. endless possibilities, and you don't know if he's going to have a mental breakdown whilst you're eating. But some party is just going to have that fear where he's just going to lean over to you and be like, Shia LaBeouf's going to follow you home tonight. And you know he talks to it about himself in the third person.
Yeah,
he does.
He definitely does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So let me just clarify before you continue. You would like to have dinner with Shia LaBeouf on the off chance that he might be psychotic enough to tell you he's going to come home and bum rape you. Is basically what you're saying.
No, but I think that it's the fear of not knowing what's going to happen, and I think that for me is a more interesting dinner than going with like someone that I genuinely would like to have dinner with.
Cool, right?
I
like that one.
What movie should they reboot? I said, and I've said this for a fucking long time, but I haven't seen you in a while, so you don't know. The Mask, the Jim Carrey.
Oh, what a good one! I should have thought that. That's such a good idea. The Mask, but.
Do you want me to say my argument before you start questioning me?
Yeah.
Right. So
does your argument include the cast? Is it the same cast?
Well, it doesn't include the same cast.
Okay.
So I think that they should reboot The Mask but with the darkness and the grittiness of the comic books. Like not the comedic. Like it's still funny, but it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Like it's really violent. It's really gory. But it's really funny. At the same time, like you're gonna get horror, terror, and comedy all rolled into one. So it's about this normal guy who puts on this fucking mask and becomes this violent psychopath, but thinks he's fucking hilarious doing it by doing practical jokes at the same time. Obviously, we know that from the original Mask movie, but it wasn't portrayed properly as it is in the comic books. Like you don't see the fucking character rip out a guy's spine in the fucking film, but you do in the fucking the books.
Interesting.
But I obviously love the original Mask because that's what we grew up with. That is obviously that, and I would still love to see Jim Carrey as portraying that character, and still see him do that, but kind of get him in the number 23 vibe, bring him back into still having that Ace Ventura kind of feel to it as well. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you there because I was worried that you were going to get someone else to play it. I genuinely think he's the perfect guy for something
definitely.
like that.
But drop him into like that Eternal Sunshine fucking vibes, like just kind of like really settle back and Stanley Ipkiss, but then give Ace Ventura but really fucked up.
All right, I'm behind that. What's the next one again?
What TV star would play you in a movie or TV show? Yeah,
right. Go on.
Now I went really obscure with this, and I don't know if you know who he is, but I'll get a picture of him off my phone for you. So, what's his name again?
What about the guy who plays Steve Holt in
No.
Arrested Development?
So I picked Troy Gentile from The Goldbergs, if you've ever seen it.
Nope.
So it's this guy. I know I'll put a picture up on the video on the when I put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But Troy Gentile, because I just think that you slap a beard on him. I think he's a really funny guy, and I think I'm pretty funny.
Yeah.
In some ways. So is he. In some ways, not always funny, but yeah. But I think he does have a dark side, like most comedy actors do have a bit of a dark side to them, and I just genuinely think that he would portray me quite well. I think it would have to be an American version, because I don't think he'd ever be able to pull off a British, or especially Yorkshire accent.
Well, yeah, this is the thing, which is why I should have fucking used that, shouldn't I? Kit Harington, we already know that he can do a fucking Yorkshire accent. So, yeah, that's why Kit should play me.
But yeah, I don't really have much of an argument for that, but I think it's funny, but that's serious. I think he'll have a serious side too.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is a 3-part question, so I have to be scored on all 3 parts.
Yeah.
So, what Game of Thrones character would you fuck, kill, and marry? And for fuck, I put Sir Bronn of Blackwater.
Yeah. Well, I think we're in agreement there, because I said I'd be married, but I'd have a fling with him.
But just because he's a badass, and I just think that I don't know, just something about him, and I'd just let him have his way with me. I'd just be like, just do what you fucking want, mate.
Do you think he's got a lovely voice as well?
Well, fucking.
Now
That's
I've
my next point.
tasted the Dornishman's wife.
But mate, that's my point. Robson and Jerome. He was fucking Jerome from Robson and Jerome, man.
Do you know I only found that out recently?
Did you?
Yeah. I only found that out recently.
Someone's using the facilities.
Someone's taking a Shengus.
So yeah, that Sir Bronn of Blackwater. Kill. Now, I brought this kill up with someone earlier. Sorry, just wait for the kill Lord Varys.
All right, why?
I just think he's untrustworthy. I just
Something
think
about him, isn't there?
I just hate his face. I feel like he is a necessary character. Don't get me wrong. I do feel like he is that guy, but I think he's just out to completely against anyone who goes for the throne, and I just want to see him get fucking bailished.
He looks like Matt Lucas when he used to be in
does, yeah.
in thing as well. Well, yeah, just Matt Lucas in general. But yeah, I think I agree with you on that one actually.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have him killed.
And then marry Sam Tarly.
You'd marry Sam Tarly?
Marry Sam Tarly.
Why?
Marry Sam Tarly because he's smart, he's intelligent. You can hold a conversation. You can actually, he's an intellectual person, and you know your marriage would never get dull. And he's clued up on what the fuck's going on. He's a bookworm. You know, you could always be like, "What you reading today, Sam?" And he's like, "Well, actually, you know what? It's really interesting." And then he goes off on about that, and he's just going to be a gentle lover. Need I say more?
My counter argument to that is, in the world of Westeros, are we marrying him in the world of Westeros or in this world?
World of Westeros.
If you're marrying him in the world of Westeros, I've got to think he's damn near one of the least. He can offer almost the least protection, which is, it's kind of like the opposite of why I went with Brienne, because Westeros is the stuff of nightmares. If I woke up in Westeros, I would put myself back to sleep. So yeah, Sam Tarly, he'd scare me too much. He'd be like, "Look, you're a big soft mess."
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Let's go on that there. So
you can't score my low because I get.
No, I know.
Be fair about it.
I'm fair. All right. So let's go with Steel Pie American
Steel
Panther.
Pie.
American Panther.
Steel Pie.
Steel Pie American Panther.
Sounds like a fucking really bizarre fucking porn star.
American Pie reunion with Steel Panther. Whilst I agree with your sentiment,
yeah,
I don't know if it just did it for me, so I give you 2 for that.
All right, okay.
I give you 2 for that one because, yeah, that's pretty much it. So Shia LaBeouf, I gave you 3 for that because I thought that was really cool, the whole not knowing what's going on, but also marked you down 2 because I thought you're essentially just opening your bumhole to be raped or something weird like that.
All right, okay.
Mask, solid 4.
Nice.
Thought it was good. TV star, I gave you 2 because I don't have a fucking clue who this guy is.
Oh, right.
Which, I'm sure.
It was in Drillbit Taylor as well.
Yeah,
Owen Wilson.
I'm sure you totally deserved a 5, but
no, I probably didn't deserve.
It's
5
hard for me.
I don't know because it was either him or Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith's too old to be fucking playing me.
So what have we got in total? So then Bronn, I gave you a 3, definite on the Bronn. Who did you want to kill again? I've just wrote kill.
Lord Varys.
Oh yeah, Lord Varys. Yeah, Lord Varys. I give you a 4 because I don't think I could agree with you more really. And Mary, I gave you a 3. Who was Mary?
Sam Tarly.
Sam Tarly. Yeah, I gave you a 3 because, I agree that he would be a gentle, beautiful person to marry.
He's just not got. You haven't got the protection there.
But also in Westeros, yeah. So right, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Oh, you beat me, motherfucker.
Yeesh.
Yeah, but your thing is as well, you've got another 2 people to compete against at some point because they've got another 2 people coming on tomorrow with Sam and Dan, and I've given them the same questions, and they're going to answer the same questions. But now you also have an opportunity to gain more points now.
All right.
Because I'm going to take this back from you. I'm going to take that fucking pencil from you. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and this is the speed round questions. So you've got. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about it, and then I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about it. Give me your answer, and then 30 seconds to argue the case.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So the pretty easy questions. Well, fairly easy. Because I'll tell you where I got the inspiration for this. Because the first question is, I was flicking through just trying to find something to watch, and have you ever seen a film called Get Shorty with John Travolta?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've made it into a TV show.
Okay.
And it's got Chris O'Dowd and the Irish guy and Ray Romano, and it's really fucking good.
Really?
And it's really
How
fucking
the
good.
fuck did Chris O'Dowd get into that?
I have no clue, but he essentially plays John Travolta's character.
Okay.
Except it's completely different, and it's really good. But yeah, so I put out the question: what 90s movie do you want to see made into a hit TV show? So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to have a think about it. You don't have to speak or anything. I'm going to silent air and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you can do what you want to do. But you will get marked on your answer. So. Just tell me when you're ready.
Right, yeah, I mean, I think I'm ready. It's not a brilliant answer, but
Right, so it's cool.
but it is genuinely what I would love to see as
Right,
a TV
so
series.
You've got 30 seconds to argue your case. Go. What's your answer? And then you've got your answer, and then you've got 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, I probably won't need 30 seconds because my argument's not that big. But let's go with Jurassic Park is my answer,
Okay.
and that's because how fucking cool would that be as a TV series? I mean, with modern, like CGI and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really fucking cool. All and those films growing up for me were like the best things. They're the things that really, if I think about what scared me when I was younger, they were the ones that really like scared me. Like, and I'd just love to see a TV series like that because they did it with Scream as well, didn't they recently? Yeah. And they were pretty cool. I thought.
Okay. I'm gonna. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that one. Okay, so what's the worst TV show that showed so much promise but didn't deliver?
Oh God, that's a tough question. All right, yeah, I've got it. I know what it is.
Straight up, go for it. Argue your case, man.
It's again a movie that's been turned into a TV series.
All right.
A Wet Hot American Summer. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. I watched it, and I think I know where you're gonna go with it, but go for it.
The cast was so strong. Some of my favourite comedians and actors all come together in this show that just looks like it's going to be an unstoppable force of TV on Netflix. And I watched it, and it was just fucking stupid. The scripts weren't very good and everything. Like, I know that's sort of like the premise of the movie was that it was weird, but how somebody managed to get all those actors into the same place to film the same thing, and that was the end product, was just beyond me, because that could have been the best thing on TV right now, I think.
All right.
With all those actors. Just thought it was insane.
I'll also let you have like a fair advantage because I haven't even thought about these questions. So
right.
You're going to ask me the same questions, and I don't know what I'm going to say. So yeah, I like that one. So
Here he is, scribbling me out.
No.
Right, go on.
Right, third and final speed round question is: if you had to cast a Nick Cage as a character in any movie, what would it be? But it can't already be a Nick Cage movie.
Fuck. Do I get 30 seconds to think about it?
Yeah, 30 seconds to think about it.
I'll think of that. I'm just gonna have to go with my favourite film because I'd love to see Nick Cage as the actor.
All right.
So I'd love to see Nick Cage as playing Tom Hanks' character in Forrest Gump.
Okay, why though?
because everything that Nick Cage does is hilarious. Nick Cage just stands still and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And just to see Nick Cage at the head of such a prestigious film,
Right.
you know, for the ages, literally my favourite film of all time. Watched it 1,000 times when I was young. I just can't think of a better film to see Nick Cage there. Because, you know, Tom Hanks is just fucking brilliant, and Nick Cage is just fucking Nick Cage. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. Right. Bear me a sec. Okay. So. All right. So
Alright.
you got a 3 for the first question.
Yeah.
What was your answer? 90s movie.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So I gave you 3. So I just thought.
I think that's more than fair, to be honest, because it was a pretty boring answer, but it would be pretty rad, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would be pretty cool. Like every week, you never know what the fuck's going to happen. But then again, you know, every week is every week. So you just think. By the second week, you just think, why the fuck is this place still opening?
Yeah. Can I give you a sub answer? Because it's not a 90s film, but what I would have chose if you'd said any film. Have you seen the film Almost Famous?
No.
Almost Famous is this really, really fucking awesome film about this young kid who's a photographer who goes on tour with this rock band. It's like the best film ever. Get it watched because you'll love it, enjoy it.
All right.
And I'd love to see a series on that.
All right. Cool. For the second question, it was, what's the worst TV show that showed promise and didn't deliver? You chose a Wet Hot American Summer. I agree. I didn't even need to hear your argument. I agree. I just feel that it was just absolutely let down because they had this absolutely stellar cast.
Right.
They had fucking Bradley Cooper. They had fucking Oscar-nominated fucking actors in that shit.
And some of the ones that they'd put at the top of the bill, you know, like the fact that they put Bradley Cooper's in it and Amy Poehler was in it and that. Some of those ones they got like 5 minutes of screen time in the whole fucking series.
Yeah. I know, mate. And if you couldn't, so you got a 4 for that. So you did really well there. And 3, you got 3 for the Nick Cage as Forrest Gump, because I just feel that. I don't know. It wouldn't be. I think it'd be good. It'd be interesting. But I just don't think it'd be as an emotionally warming film as actually Forrest Gump is.
Well, no, it wouldn't. But if I'm putting Nick Cage in anything, it's for comedy value right now.
True.
Because it's Nick Cage.
Okay, so I've not thought about it. I've tried to keep my mind clear as much as possible. So you can ask me the questions, and then we'll go from there. I'm probably not going to beat you already. You've got 31 points in total out of 50. You did really well, man. We're gonna move forward.
So, yeah, let's do it then. What 90s movie would you want to see made into a hit TV show? Think on. I'm just gonna vape to
Alright,
cover
okay.
up the radio
I'm done.
silence.
I think I'm ready.
Alright.
Alright, okay. I'm gonna go with going on with the Nick Cage theme. I'm gonna go with Face Off.
Alright, okay.
Face Off, like every week going to be different. Like obviously these two characters have had their faces swapped, and obviously I know the premise is absolutely ridiculous, but would be a
good film, though.
would be a fucking awesome TV show. You can't deny me that. And you've got to imagine every week it's just different. Well, not different, but you know, it's these two guys, the bad guy, the good guy, but you never know which one they're going to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, because you've got the good guy playing the bad guy, you've got the bad guy playing the bad guy playing the good guy. You never know what's going to happen.
Same cast?
No.
You wouldn't be able to get John.
No.
And
I would
and Nick.
never have the same cast in Face Off reboot. Never.
Nah. Alright, cool. So
I'd do a black guy, white guy. Tell them pat by the hands. They don't have to black up, they just have the black hands.
yeah, cool. Next one. What's the worst TV show that showed promise but didn't deliver?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'm probably gonna if anybody does listen to this, which I'm assuming when you share it, people might actually listen. But I'm gonna go with Outcast. It's a TV show that's based on a comic book by Rob Kirkman, the writer of Walking Dead.
Okay.
He, obviously, because The Walking Dead is this humongous thing, everybody was like, it's the comic book itself is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. But the TV show just didn't give me what I wanted. I got really bored really quickly. I just felt that there was a lot of unnecessary. They filled it in with unnecessary bits. Oh, sorry. They filled it in with the necessary parts, which doesn't need to be on there. And it's just filler. Most of it's just filler. And I'm just like, get to the nitty gritty.
Nothing
Let's
worse
get it.
than filler. So, is that you? Are you done?
Yeah, that's fine.
Nick Cage. If you had to cast Nick Cage's character in any movie, what would it
See,
be?
I regret saying movie because there's one scene that I just think Nick Cage would be great at, but I'll choose that in a sec. But
I wish you could do a like a fictional movie, and then you had Nick Cage playing Chad Kroger. That'd be awesome.
No, I think it's gonna have to be Kaiser Soze from Usual Suspects.
All right.
I think that I were actually talking about like who we would recast in the Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
And I think that Nick Cage could still do Kaiser Soze, and I think he would also bring a bit of humour to it. But other than obviously, what's his name played him? Don't matter. Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey, the spaceman.
I think that Kevin Spacey did it perfectly, but I think if we were to recast it, I think that Nick Cage would be the second choice.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So then, score up.
Yeah.
In total, you've got 10.
All right, so I'm still one behind you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I got 20.
Did I get 10? Did I get 10?
You got
on
10.
mine? All right. Okay.
So why did you score me?
So face off, I gave you 4 because I think that's actually a really fucking cool idea. Like the idea of having, you know, like you explained, you could get more out of it with each episode being, and you could probably get really fucking interesting with it.
Yeah.
So I probably should have scored you 5, but I didn't.
All right.
Outcast, I've given you 3
Right. Why?
because
You don't know it.
I don't know it. I mean, it's hard for me to agree or disagree with you, so I just went straight down the middle
All right.
and gave you a
That's
3.
Fair enough. No, it's cool.
And Usual Suspects, I also gave you 3. I do think you're right, and it'd be,
The obvious next choice.
The obvious next
to Kevin
choice.
Spacey.
but I'm very protective over Kevin Spacey.
Who isn't? But you've got to imagine, like, if Kevin Spacey turned around and was like, if they were to do a reboot of it, and they said, Kevin, do you want to do it? Because no one else could play Kaiser Soze like you. And they'd be like, no. The next choice would be like, well, looks like we got Nick Cage.
I feel like I should have given you 4 for that. Shall I give you a 4 so that we're even?
If you want, it's down to you, mate.
Right, I'm going to give you 2. No, I'm joking. Right, we'll leave it at that.
No worries. So,
But yeah.
what is my total
So
score?
your total score is...
Well, I got 20 on that side.
20 on that side, 10 on that side, 30.
So I'm 1 point behind you.
1 point behind me.
Dick.
And who have you got tomorrow?
I've got Sam and Dan.
Sam and Dan.
So they're going to get
See
the
what
same
they do.
questions. Oh, that's good because I thought we were actually going to win. But no,
I think
it means you have to you have to come back and face off at some point.
That's fine. If anything, though, you kind of did win because some of the points that I marked you down on was stuff that because I didn't really know what it is, so that kind of it's the opposite of It's because you're more geek than me. You got more geek knowledge.
Yeah, I know, but it's not that. It's not even that, mate. It's the fact is that, like I say, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Watch Outcast if you want. I think you would enjoy it because you've not read the books, rather than I've read the books and I'm just a bit like, where's the gore? But I think you would like. It's like it's just like Walking Dead, but instead of zombies, it's demons and possession and weird shit like that. It's really interesting. Like the concept of it is really good, but they just did deliver on the TV show. I don't think.
Yeah, it often happens.
Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, have you got anything else that you want to add before we finish this off?
I don't think so.
No, well, like I say,
Thanks
you've got to
for
come
having
back
me.
because whoever
That was
wins
fun.
tomorrow, you've got to fight them.
Yeah, let's do it.
You've got to try and
well,
win that over them.
Get them all in on that Game of Thrones one, and we can do it at the end of that one, maybe.
Well, we're gonna get you. You're gonna come back a couple of times because you've got the Game of Thrones one to do, and then I've got you've got
All
to
right,
do
okay,
one because I can't do one just on Game of Thrones. I've got to do one all around.
Yeah. But I definitely want in on that Game of Thrones one.
We'll do it. We'll definitely do a Game of Thrones one. I'm gonna do an anime one with some other people as well.
Yeah.
So I think I don't. Does Vicky like anime?
She likes Studio Ghibli, but
Well, yeah, but that's it.
but I don't think she'll come on. She
don't like talking.
Don't like talking.
Oh well, that's fine.
I said to her this morning, you should come on and talk Game of Thrones with us today, and she was like, "No one wants to hear my voice." But she doesn't sound like that.
No one wants to hear our voices, but
yeah.
and that's why nobody listens. No, it's cool. But yeah, man, it's absolutely fucking been awesome to have you on. Thank you so much for coming on, and
You too.
that's gonna clip to fuck.
Yeah,
It's gonna have to be like.
That was awesome, though.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
Right, mate. Thanks a lot. My name's Tom, and this has been Me with the Geeks, and
My name's Joe, and this has been
Requiem.
thanks a lot, guys.
So pictureless now, a perpetual motion of a car crashing into the ocean.